Happy Monday, Acadiana, and welcome to another edition of Louisiana Focus. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Johnson. Tonight, we get feedback from the UL community about March Madness. We also visited this past weekend's Miss UL pageant, and we go behind the scenes of how one local grocery store handled the pandemic. These stories and more coming up. For normal people, the month of March is peaceful. For basketball fans, March is filled with madness. Dawson D'Amico has more.
On March 18th, March Madness officially began as the 2021 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament commenced in Indianapolis, Indiana. 68 of the best teams in the country are battling to win the championship, and fans around Lafayette are itching to see what's next.
Dude, it's just the chaos. They got plenty of games. I love watching basketball and just seeing the next prospects who are going to prosper in the NBA.
Fans are able to join in on the experience by creating and predicting their own tournament bracket. But this is not as easy as you'd think.
According to NCAA.com, the probability of correctly creating a perfect bracket is an astronomical 1 in 9.2 quintillion. But if you know a little bit about basketball, then your chances apparently raise tremendously to a whopping 1 in 120.2 billion. These odds are tremendously low, but that does not stop fans like Landon Pistoljevic from participating in the challenge every March.
First bracket I made was in middle school. It was a thing we did for, I think, a PE class, and since then, I've just kept doing them.
Of the millions of brackets created, the one team that many fans see winning the whole thing is the #1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Gonzaga's going all the way. Yeah. Depending if they play Kansas or not, I'm not sure what side of the bracket they're on.
I always go with Gonzaga from my home state, Washington. Little school out of Spokane, and they've been a top-notch program for a long time.
So far, nobody has ever predicted the perfect bracket, but with madness in the air, who knows what's going to happen? I'm Dawson D'Amico. This is Louisiana Focus.
The New Orleans Saints franchise has reached the end of an era. Tim Didier has more.
The quarterback that led the New Orleans Saints to their first Super Bowl victory and a new era for the franchise, Drew Brees, has announced that he's retiring after 20 years in the NFL. Players from around the league and former teammates wish Brees well, but the fans have a lot to say too.
On the field, he set records. He got a Super Bowl. Like I said, the NFC Championship. I mean, not many players can say they've been to AFC or NFC Championship. So, I mean, to win the Super Bowl the way he did, to go out the way he did, I feel like that he has a successful career.
There's no doubt about it. Drew Brees made huge contributions to the Saints franchise on the field. But Saints fans will also remember him for his conduct off the field.
The example that Drew Brees sets, he's pretty much textbook, role model, Anyone that has sons or daughters and they need somebody to look up to, I think he'd be a prime example of somebody that you would tell to follow after. He gets it done on and off the field.
He brought more than just being a quarterback for the team. I mean, the leadership he brought in the game, outside the game, everything he did for the community with charities. I mean, Drew Brees is overall a good guy.
Although his time as a player is over, Brees has announced that he'll be joining NBC Sports as a studio analyst, allowing him to stay closely connected to the game that has meant so much to his life. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Tim Didier.
Although the 2021 NFL season has ended, teams had a lot of work cut out for them in the offseason. Our Travis Boutin has more.
As soon as the Super Bowl is over, teams waste no time in focusing on their offseason and free agency. Free agency began on March 17th, and teams have been making big jumps to improve their team. The New England Patriots have made a lot of moves so far. They signed former Tennessee Titans tight end Jonnu Smith and former Los Angeles Chargers tight end Hunter Henry. They've also signed wide receivers Nelson Aguilar from the Las Vegas Raiders, Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers, and they've re-signed former MVP quarterback Cam Newton. The Cincinnati Bengals have also been making big moves this free agency by signing former New Orleans Saints edge rusher Trey Hendrickson and former Dallas Cowboys cornerback Chidobe Awuzie. NFL fans all over the world have been arguing who's winning free agency so far. But in those conversations, there's always one team's name that always comes up.
The team that I think is winning free agency so far, honestly, I would say the New England Patriots. The reason I say the New England Patriots, they brought back Cam Newton, they got Nelson Aguilar, they got some nice receivers, tight ends, and they spent the most money in NFL history in the offseason. I think they made some nice investments, and I'm happy to see what they bring.
Deep shot down the field, he's got Bird down there! What a catch! Touchdown, New England!
The New Orleans Saints started off in salary cap jail at the beginning of offseason, but due to sacrificial player cuts and contract reconstructions, they got out. Although the salary cap issue and the loss of Drew Brees, Saints fans are still confident about next season.
Yeah, I'm very nervous losing Drew Brees and all that, but at the same time, I mean, we have an elite defense, so I feel like our defense can really carry us with the offensive struggles at times.
We'll have to wait and see if these free agency changes result in a Lombardi trophy. With Louisiana Focus, I'm Travis Boutin.
COVID has made owning a business at this time extremely difficult, but some businesses were able to make a smooth transition. Blaze Bro gives us an inside look at what it's like to run a business during a pandemic.
COVID has put a lot of pressure on these small businesses to overcome these new and unexpected challenges. Freeman's Food and Furniture is just one example. Freeman's is a testament to what it means to overcome unexpected challenges. So what's it like running a business through a pandemic?
When we first started, what we did is we just, we instructed all employees to stay their distance from customers. We also changed our methods of sanitation, where we sanitize certain times during the day. We started doing more extensive sanitation in more areas. Just went with the flow and tried to make sure it worked.
While management followed COVID protocol to ensure customer safety, employees were forced to adapt to a new way of working.
For me, I just kind of went with the flow of it. The main thing is don't stress about it. You can't worry about something that might not happen to you.
Management didn't just rely on their own methods to maneuver through the pandemic. They were also able to learn effective methods by talking to other businesses.
The transition in the beginning was kind of hectic because we weren't sure what to do or how to do it. But after we started getting information through other people in our industry on how they were doing it and some practices, when we put those together, we was able to move forward with it.
With COVID bringing about a lot of new rules and regulations, that meant small businesses had to make big changes. That means it was all hands on deck.
We worked as a team to make sure that everybody did what needed to be done. It's very important to be a team, and that's one thing that we try to do.
While Freeman's was able to overcome the challenges brought on by COVID, they know they have to be ready for whatever comes next.
We're going to have to wait to see what kind of major event we have next. It's hard to say. It may not even be the same thing. It may be something different.
From Louisiana Focus, I'm Blaze Bro.
In Crowley, one man doesn't let this year's hardships get in the way of his big plans. Lydia Alcala has more.
Owner of Cornerstone Contractors, Andy Clay, was able to bring his company to life despite the troubles of 2020.
In the construction industry, in specializing in civil, we're not around a lot of people. We're not having to constantly deal with the customer on a day-to-day basis as if I was building a house. So it really wasn't that big of a deal, for us, thankfully.
Mr. Clay's wife, Erin Clay, acknowledges the uncertainty that comes with starting a business.
Whatever he puts his mind to, he's gonna succeed, and he's hardworking. So I knew we would make it, and so I mean, now I don't have fear. I'm just excited and love watching him, the excitement it brings to him.
Despite many challenges, Mr. Clay finds reward in being his own boss.
There is no excitement like working for yourself. It is amazing. I wake up every day. I incredibly, every day is not peaches and cream, right? You wake up one morning, you're dealing in the mud and things like that, especially working with dirt. but it's something to be said about, you know, you're doing it for yourself.
With new construction constantly underway at sites like this one, Mr. Clay has high hopes for the future of Cornerstone Contractors.
Probably the biggest goal I have set for the company, is just to reach that pinnacle, and to be one of the biggest, you know, contracting companies as far as civil goes, you know, especially in the Gulf South.
Cornerstone Contractors is based in Crowley and provides work in areas across South Louisiana. For more information, contact Andy Clay by phone or email. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Lydia Alcala.
What do some students do when they want to make some extra money, but don't want to work for someone during a pandemic? They start their own business. Tonight, we hear from one UL student whose business has truly flourished. Our Madeline Cerna has the story.
I wanted to start a business because I didn't have a job during COVID, and it was just easier for me to start a business and make money that way during college. So what started off as a small marketing venture became into running one of the biggest campaigns in the parish.
A college student who decided he wanted to make extra spending money during a pandemic decided to start his own small marketing business. Now, it's one of the top ones in Opelousas, Louisiana.
Not only is Herpin his own boss, but he manages the biggest campaigns around the parish. For example, the district attorney Chad Pete and parish president Jesse Bellard, who both won their races.
I think my business is successful because I put in a lot of work towards it. I even missed a semester of college for it.
One question remains: how is Herpin so successful?
But yeah, it's successful because I make the connections, I network, I try my best to work as hard as possible and meet everyone's expectations.
It's clear that Herpin's business is successful, and we'll see if he keeps his candidate's winning streak alive. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Madeline Cerna.
Shots like that.
Becoming Miss UL Lafayette is a dream to some girls, but for one young lady, that dream came true when she was crowned Miss UL Lafayette. Our India Davis files this report.
The 2021 Miss UL Lafayette has been crowned and her reign shall begin. But Troy Acker, Miss UL Lafayette 2020, will always say she had a different and unique experience during her reign because of COVID-19.
So it was really a great experience to be Miss UL. Due to COVID, though, a lot of things were taken away, but with COVID, a lot of things were changed. So it was really interesting to be able to be a part of the big event, virtual for the first time ever. I hosted a yoga session.
The pageant consists of 3 judge categories with another one that is not judged. The judge categories include interview, swimwear, and evening gown, with opening number not being judged. Miss UL Lafayette is a preliminary pageant for the Miss Louisiana and Miss USA pageant. Contestants spend weeks together preparing, creating a sisterhood in the end. Only 5 contestants will make it into the top. From there, they must answer an on-stage final question to determine who the winner is.
Only 2 spots remain. Who do you think it is?
Congratulations to Josie Stevens, who was crowned Miss UL Lafayette 2021, and the rest of the contestants. This has been India Davis from Louisiana Focus.
That's all the time we have tonight. Louisiana Focus is a co-production between the University of Louisiana at Lafayette and AOC Community Media. Our teleprompter is Tim Didier. Our director is Matt Roberts. Our faculty advisor is Assistant Professor Patricio Salinas. And I'm Kaitlyn Johnson. Thanks for watching, Acadiana.
Thank you.